From the second half of January, short-term business travelers arriving in Singapore from all countries will no longer need to be quarantined. Because under new segregated travel lane arrangements, travelers using the lane will be transported directly from the airport to dedicated facilities, where they will stay and work for the entire duration of their visit. Regular testing will be conducted throughout their stay, in addition to PCR tests before departing from their home countries and upon arrival here. Official and high economic value travelers are included in this Connected Singapore scheme. Trade and Industry Minister Chan Chun Sing said the new measures will make Singapore more relevant as a business hub amid the unpredictability of COVID-19.
This particular scheme, Connect at Singapore, is really targeted at short-term travelers who do not have an intention to stay more than 2 weeks in Singapore, but allow them to come in here to meet the Singaporeans safely without the previous 14 days quarantine. For example, some of the companies, they would like to have their regional managers all to come and meet because they feel that there's a difference between just meeting over Zoom and having an offsite in Singapore. So it's not just for a few hours, it could be for a few days whereby they need to discuss things in more detail. They need to see each other's in person to understand the body language and establish new connections. So there is a certain niche demands for this kind of services that goes beyond the Zoom services. So for many of the financial services, legal services, I think our feedback is that there are people who would like to meet their clients on site to see them in person before they do the transaction. And this is very important for a financial hub like Singapore.
Mr. Chan added that his ministry will study the demand for this travel lane to assess the number of dedicated facilities needed, with the possibility of the lane being widened for medical or family visiting purposes. One of the facilities that will be used to house these short-term travelers is Connect at Changi, at Singapore Expo and Max Atria, a 5-minute drive from Changi Airport. The 4-star accommodation will implement safe management measures such as separate ventilation systems for guests and Singapore-based visitors, as well as airtight glass panels in meeting rooms. When fully constructed in mid-2021, Connect at Changi will have more than 1,300 guest rooms and some 340 meeting rooms. Accommodation rates range from $390 to $430 a night for stays shorter than 3 days and cover coronavirus testing, meals, and airport transfers. The Ministry of Trade and Industry plans to appoint additional facilities in the coming weeks. The segregated travel lane is separate from existing reciprocal green lane arrangements, which apply only to selected countries and allow those on essential business or official purposes to move around more freely in Singapore. Applications for the Connect at Singapore scheme will open in the middle of January, with the first travellers expected to arrive later that month.